success favors speed, right?
Why we use the slogan wisdom at speed, because it is wisdom. Wisdom comes from that experience.
Yes.
And that's where our first step with a lot of our young businesses and startups comes in, which is education.
The logo's gonna go on your product, but there's no product if you don't get it made, right?
It's not the first mover's advantage, it's the fast mover advantage.
Yeah. All right, so Amna, you are an international entrepreneur. You partnered up with Brand Beats, and you bring a completely different perspective into the organization. You haven't built it like a traditional business. So I want you to take me back to the moment or the experience that that molded your philosophy on how you do business.
I think our philosophy stems from how the world changes. And then I think COVID, I know a lot of people talk about that, but it changed things forever. It showed us that what we have been thinking, imagining how the future is going to be like, it can change in a second, and then we all have to just kind of, fumble and figure out what's next. So as our slogan is wisdom at speed. So we kind of saw where the opportunity is and be very aggressive about going and getting it. And that is our philosophy right now. During COVID, startups, were popping up everywhere. And then there were platforms where people could connect easily, and then people were more open to it, right? There was always Zoom and different things, but somehow during COVID, we were okay with talking to people, many, many million miles away, and then figuring things out together. So I guess our philosophy became that we're going to go where the opportunity is. We're not going to be restricted with geographical boundaries and everything. And also the fact that, we already had that network going on where we could quickly verify different businesses, different startups. So this has shaped us much better in terms of we can do it quickly, we can invest quickly in startups, we can partner very quickly, and we can really verify, who can bring what, and then quickly go through that thing. Of course, sometimes, many times, you come across people who are scammy, who are just saying, okay, you know what, I have built this palace back in Middle East somewhere, but there's nothing. But the thing is, we somehow have figured out the formula to verify these claims and then go from there and figure it out.
I like it. So yeah, success favors speed, right?
Of course.
And that's your big slogan. It's wisdom at speed, right?
Yes.
You also mentioned fumbling and figuring it out anyways, right? And then you have to be confident enough to give the advice and then use the data that you've collected in the past to verify that that's the best option for whatever situation you're in, right?
Exactly.
When you fumble, what do you guys have a process to get back on board or make shifts to make sure that your companies are successful?
I think because we have you can say, typically the easier word to say is agency, but we also have an investment firm. And you know how investments work, it is like that. You diversify, you put a little bit in a lot of baskets, and then, you choose it wisely. But of course, mistakes happen. And then again, this is the difference that comes from someone who's new in the game and someone who has been there for decades, right? Yeah. I've been with Brand Beats Global for last less than a decade, but I have been in the field. I have been working in marketing and branding and in different businesses. So that experience never goes away. And that experience helps because you know that you have built yourself up one time, you can build it again. Of course, now the scale is massive, then the people attached to us, there's a huge number of it, people who work for us, startups who are linked with us. So of course, any kind of failure, we definitely want to avoid at all costs. But at the same time, failures are not failures, they are lessons. And then, so learning from your lessons and then quickly be like, okay, you know what, no, that's it. That was the lesson from it. And that's the path, and we going from there. And again, I think why we use the slogan wisdom at speed, because it is wisdom. Wisdom comes from that experience. Yes. So it's not like, okay, just throwing darts in, blindly. It is choosing where you're going to invest your energy and money and effort and teams on is something which can turn out to be a good option. Yes, things happen, stuff happens.
So, can you walk me through, like, all right, wisdom at speed, what could your clients expect from you? And, like, how does it play in their favor when they're used to someone saying that they built a castle in Italy? It's not really there, right? So, once you verify, like, how important is speed to these entrepreneurs that are trying to get it going? Like, what kind of impact does that have on them?
Yeah, so it cannot be applied the same way to everyone,
Yeah.
right? And then some people are in that phase where they just watched a couple of, you can say, podcasts or videos and be like, okay, I'm motivated. I want to do something. I want to quit my 9 to 5 and start a new business, right? And that's where our first step with a lot of our young businesses and startups comes in, which is education. And which also was not something that me and my partner were like, this is what we thought that we're going to be doing. It was born out of this frustration that we felt with a lot of young entrepreneurs. By young, I mean who just got into entrepreneurship, and they can be whatever age, is that they lack the basics of business. Okay, how, like, the plan, the strategy, the finances. So basically, education is a big part of it. And then most of the time, we have this workshop. We call it the Winning Entrepreneur Workshop. It's a 2-day thing. It's only 2 days, but we kind of like go through it, but and teach them those basic things. Okay, you know what? And then trust me, some of them, I mean, a lot of them have tweaked their ideas, but some of them were even like rolled up and said, okay, no, I don't think I'm ready for a business yet. I mean, 9 to 5 is something that I can rely on, and I'll go back to it because I do not want this whole additional stress and tension and everything, right? So I feel like education is part of it. So where we are also open about it. Now, what happens that usually in agencies, and now, I mean, that's why I don't even get in that game, because somebody will ask me point blank, they're like, do you guys do logos? And my initial response was no. Because I don't do logos.
Yeah.
I create businesses, and I
Yes.
make them profitable. I find them a straight path. Okay, you know what? Product, profit, revenues. There's that profit, that path. Logo is a part of it. It's a very tiny part of it, right? But yes, they can go on Fiverr. They can hire some BPO agencies and everything, and they can get a logo done. I mean, and I'm very happy with that business going whichever way it wants to go.
Yeah.
But I am here for the long run, right?
Yeah.
And so mine is not just strategy, not just advice, not just like a couple of, okay, mood boards and everything. It's the whole thing. It's like, okay, you know what you're going to do after that? Where you're going to get your product made in. And for us, because of our offices, because of our experience in this field, it's our network I feel like is our strongest point.
Absolutely.
Right? We open doors where you're welcomed, where it's not like, okay, you know what, go call this number. It's like they know that they are coming from us and with our recommendation, and they will be welcomed.
Man, there's so much to unpack there. And like the first part is like, all right, education is important. But the reason why education is important is because you shift their perspective. They think that business is going to be easy. They think that business is a logo, right? But business is so much more. I used to work for Grant Cardone and Brandon Dawson. And they broke down, Brandon Dawson, he's a genius, right? He breaks down businesses into 4 core pillars: operations, finance, sales and marketing, and people. And they spent $5 million in research. They interviewed 10,000 entrepreneurs. And the biggest reason why people fail is because they don't know what to focus on. They haven't been exposed to the information that you share with your clients in order for them to understand like the reality of business and the struggles that they're going to run into, and the different, like you said, where are you going to create your product? How are you going to distribute it? The logo is going to go on your product, but there's no product if you don't get it made, right? So I know a lot of people think that you're a design and a marketing company, but in reality, you're like a co-founder that goes in there and you're working with them, right? So how would you explain that difference in one sentence?
Well, frankly speaking, there's no way to explain that, and that's why it's I kind of struggle with that as well, because there's a lot to unpack over there. And a co-founder is sometimes also like we are more like a co-founder / mentor / even almost sometimes boss. Sometimes I tell like, okay, you know what, I'm telling you this is not gonna work. So up to you. You want to waste your money, go ahead and waste your money with some other agency. I'm not on board with that. A lot of my clients will say, okay, you know what, ads, I'm like, okay, you know what, you are not ready for ads yet. You need to have your content out there and everything and see how it behaves organically. And then the next step is that, right?
Yeah.
And again, sometimes we do sound like, okay, you know what, just kind of stubborn bosses. We're like, okay, no, I am my way or the highway. But sometimes it is needed that way. But like how we are different, it's that we are with you for the long run. I mean,
Yeah.
that's the only thing I tell, right? Okay, it's not a business plan, it's not a strategy, it's not like giving you a whole set of tools to use.
It's a
we
new
are
life.
we are using these tools with you, and a lot of our clients, I mean, testimonials are also one thing. People come and say, but they are people saying their feelings. But again, as I mean, I struggle with that as well. Like how to encompass all that, right? So so normally what I say is that we are strategy, we are wisdom, we are design and tech, but with a very strong execution arm, right? So execution is coming after that. Execution is not just creating the app; it
Yeah.
is after that,
It's
right?
results.
It is results, and then and sometimes we have some clients who are established businesses, multiple offices. We have this perfume brand, we have this skincare brand who have been in the market, everybody knows their name. And then they come to us. Why? Because they are feeling that wall in front of them where they just cannot grow. I mean, something or the other comes up. And breaking down for them, okay, you know what, where they were wrong, maybe like, 10 steps
Yeah.
before, and fixing that step and then
Yeah.
and fixing that, right?
So Dakota and I always talk about like meeting people where they are and not speaking to deaf ears.
Yes.
Not everyone is ready to hear the information that they need to hear. Like you said, no, we don't do logos. That's the easy way to just not speak to deaf ears, right? So I know that like startup founders, they're bombarded with generic information, right? What would you say like the big difference between the information that you're giving versus the information that they're collecting from some YouTuber out there that's read a bunch of books but hasn't actually like went out there and executed on the plan?
My information is based on what's going on in the market right now. I am on board of and part of and co-founder of like in total 13 startups right now, who literally like in their future is going to impact me because I'm invested in them heavily. So I am looking at the market for my own self, right? So my advice is not from someone outsider or someone who has really studied thoroughly Airbnb's pitch deck or somebody's growth plan.
Yeah.
Mine is based on how I'm tweaking my plans and pitch decks of my own startups in real time. So that's why my advice is different. And then if you look at some of even the very big names in terms of incubators and accelerators, literally, like if you really dig deeper, they are nothing more than like a co-working space.
Yeah.
I mean, then there's the information they're giving in those lectures and everything is very generic because that's what everybody's talking
Yeah.
about. It's free on YouTube.
That's what like I feel people are designed to absorb generic information. They can't go into the details because it'll just be like too overwhelming.
Yeah.
Right. So with all this, like, let me ask you this: when you have a conversation with business owners, do you feel like they know everything? Is that the feeling that you get, or do you feel like they're overwhelmed and they're out there just looking for help? Where do you see most of the founders coming in?
It's different people with different problems, but the most common I would say problem is that they are in their own shell. They may be following a couple of good people. I'm not blaming them. There's some amazing content on YouTube. I mean, I love podcasts, listen to them myself as well. There's amazing content, but then they're just fixated on one voice, on one angle of things, right? Like, if you meet someone who's into Bitcoin or crypto, that's all they talk about.
Yeah.
They don't want to hear about anything, but it's about that diversity that helps you. I think for us, if I talk personally, I am here some days, I am in Dubai some days, I'm in Bahrain, I'm in Riyadh, just going around in different places, meeting different people. And then, of course, the founders and business owners I meet in different places are also different, right?
Yeah.
In Dubai, a lot of the local ones are still into real estate. And then it works for them, right?
Yeah.
I mean, Dubai is still selling,
Yeah.
right? And then they're talking about ups and downs of that. In Riyadh, because they have Vision 2030 going on, so they are focused on investments which kind of like feed to that. So then when you talk about different ones, then you have all these different voices.
Yeah.
And now I'm not obsessed with, oh my God, only this thing will make money, right?
Yeah.
So this is the problem with founders, is that they're obsessed with that. Sometimes it'd be so funny because we will go be at these events where these startups book time to talk to us, right? Because there's like this kind of like speed dating kind of a thing going on between investors and founders, and they will come to me and I'm like, okay, tell me what about your idea, and they will tell me something, and I'm like, I will just pull up on my phone. I'm like, this is already done. I've seen the pitch deck and they have already a website and everything going on, and they'll be jaw dropped because they've been so much in their shell thinking they have come up with this amazing idea, but they haven't gone to the market. And my partner Shafat, he has this saying, which I love, which is that it's not the first mover's advantage, it's the fast mover advantage. We are in that time right now.
Absolutely.
Right?
Especially with AI and all these different tools that we have.
Exactly. And AI is the biggest startup killer right now because there are the kids in their homes who are thinking, I can make something where you click a button and this happens, right? And the poor guys have been working on it, but, GPT or Claude makes an improvement and then that thing is done, right?
Yeah.
So again, and this is something that we do in our workshop as the first thing, which is the ideation, right? Your idea has to kind of go through a very long checklist to make sure that idea is going to live. Yeah. I'm not even talking about growth or profit or unicorn, just to survive the next 5-10 years.
Yeah.
Is your idea of that? Then yes, then come on, let's do something. Yeah. But if your idea is only relying on, okay, they did this in US, so let me do that in Africa and I'll be rich. No, you won't be.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So let me ask you this. What are the first 3 things that you diagnose and then get them back on track?
First 3 things. First 3 things is that basically, I don't know if we can put the whole idea in a diagnosis because, as I said, we have a 50-point ideation checklist.
Oh, wow.
Which is something we was developed about over 10 years ago in terms of, from an investor point of view, right? And then we kind of implemented it now that okay, what, is it profitable? It's not even about that it will generate money, because people sometimes get confused with that. And I think that I want to highlight that point, is that, yes, there's water. Yes, you need the water. So yes, it is a good product, we can sell it. But are you willing to open your wallet right now to pay me the amount that I'm asking for this water? So this is not just, okay, something I'll need, because people will in B2B, okay, yeah, people do need something where they can easily find homes, right? But are they willing to go to you? Like, so we need to add that to the value. Like if people are willing to open their wallet for that. And then in that then comes looking at the economy, looking at where the world is going. Like in US right now, we know that people are in that mindset now where like everybody's just stuffing dollar bills under the mattress kind of a thing, right? People are kind of scared about some situations.
For sure.
So right now, introduce a luxury product, like a mid-tier luxury product,
It's difficult.
It's difficult. And you have to be very smart about it, right? Yeah. So you have to mix that, it's a need, it's a desire, people are willing to pay, people are in that mode to think about, that luxury right now. Yes or no, right? But yes, and that's why a lot of these startups, even from US, are turning towards Africa and India, because where they see the masses, where they can, introduce something which is low price, but a lot of people are willing to buy it, and it can generate some revenues. So the diagnosing, whether the idea is in the right time. So I would say right time, right place. And whether people are willing to open their wallet for it, I think that's the first step. Mindset, yes, I would also give it some points that it is definitely important, but I feel like that we have kind of figured out a way where we kind of, this workshop I'm telling you about, and our first couple of discussions with them, people who are not exactly in the right mindset, they kind of run away from our kind of like little strict kind of way of handling startup.
Man, do you want to be right or do you want to be rich? That always comes to mind, right? Because people, they say that they want to be rich, but then they're so fragile and like the way that they receive information, they're so offended. You know what I'm saying? They just need to take the information. It's not good information. It's not bad information. It's just information. Now you do what you will with it, right? So you take companies from like an idea, they're fragile, and then you turn them into profitable, and then you turn them into investor ready, right? Can you walk me through the milestones like in that transformation?
Well, I put brand first. So the first thing is brand, and now the way the world is now compared to what it was 5 or 6 years ago, is that the founder's brand is also important. right? So who is the founder and who's the company? They have one thing, but at the same time, they're two separate entities, and both of them have to be ready. So gone are the days you can be like, okay, no, I don't want to show my face. I want to hide somewhere, and like, my company will go somewhere. No, that's not there. So those two things are there. Then getting them the right connections, the right network from day one, right? Their product needs to, people, we talk about product launch and campaigns and everything. It's going to be useless if we are just trying to throw it out on in socials with some ad spend and everything, right? Because what happens is that we don't want it. We go through reels and TikToks, maybe like 200, 500 a day, so just and and you go there. So it's pointless. So many people have invested money in it, but it's not going to work. So how we get them to the right people, the right partners from day one, right? I am actually partners in a travel app, and we just had this brainstorming session the other day, and it was not about getting closer to the app launch. And yes, there's our graphic design team and video team are making stuff, but what we are focused is how we can get them partnered with some airlines, maybe with some getting them a spot in some airports, which kind of influencers, not just the just pick from those different apps that which influencer. So connecting them with the right people is the first thing, right? And then of course then comes funding, because we are an investment company as well, so we do fund ourselves. But once an outside investor sees that there is a very solid brand, they already are partnered with various big entities in different parts of the globe, and now they are in their launch phase and everything. Now then the investors are also willing to come on board very easily, right? So because you are giving them that confidence that their money is not going to some founder paying off their car or their home loan or something from the investment, but it is going towards a business which actually is clearly like profitable, or not even profitable, just at least getting some clients and some subscriptions on board. So the steps, I would say, if we can want to recap it, there's like branding, and then it's of course tech development and all that come. And with AI, that step has become so much faster, so much easier. And then we already have very, very strong teams, where we actually do that in house, because a lot of time people are like, okay, yeah, startups will come to us, be like, okay, yeah, we need this much money, this many millions for app development. And we're like, okay, hold on, if your idea is good, we'll develop it ourselves. We have people for that. But then definitely the idea has to be good, and the founder has to be willing to really follow the playbook, follow the advice we give them, and be willing to consistently promote their brand. Because see, ideas are sometimes easy, especially with us when we are meeting so many people, doing so many things. Literally I have a list of about 30 ideas of startup ideas I want to do, but the thing is I'm not willing to risk my current ventures because my time will be. So when someone who's willing to work, who has that hunger, has the desire to, okay, I want to create something, I want to put in all my effort, my time, and my energy on this, then yes, then they can do it, right? My good ideas are worth nothing if I'm not able to put the time and effort behind them, right? So sometimes it's having that. What I'm trying to say is that I can find ideas, but I cannot find these passionate human beings, right? So once I find them, and they are willing to do the work, then the road is very easy and very clear, right? Money is also not hard to find. People are all the money is going to these big OpenAI and this and that. No, there's still a lot of investor money. But the thing is, you're not showing the investor what's needed.
It's feedback. You need to do something different.
You need to do something different, and you need to give them a solid plan and a really a clear path to revenue. You're just saying, okay, I'm passionate about fixing the world so and so problem. Yeah, well, then start a non-profit. If you want.
I love that for you.
But if you want someone to invest their hard-earned money, no matter if somebody has billions, it's their hard-earned money. If you're wanting somebody to invest their money in it, then you have to show them how you're going to double, triple that money. And if you cannot show that, then you cannot blame that person that, okay, oh no, they were just they're biased, or they don't like me. Exactly.
Then all the stories start popping up on. They're all stories. It's the stories that you tell yourself that keep you from the new opportunities. You're letting past experiences dictate future results,
Yes.
And if you don't change, then it doesn't change. Your situation doesn't change. So I've been smiling so much because, conversations, they just give you feedback. They either validate what you're doing or they debunk them. So just sitting with you and having a conversation with someone that's so experienced, and because we started off as a podcast studio, right? But we're no longer a podcast studio. We help $1 to $8 million business owners create the assets that they need first, and then the branding, and then the website, optimized for conversions, because most websites look like a brochure, right? And they don't give you the information that you need. But what separates us is that we create 5 strategic videos, not just like so you can scroll on social media. We place them on your website. We place them everywhere that investors are going to go, that your customers are going to go. And it starts with the founder video, the story, who this person is, like the heart behind the project, right? Then we move on to the homepage video to give you a thoughtful delivery on how to use the website. Then we move on to the video sales letter, so you can give your very best pitch, and you can focus on like connecting with the people that you have a conversation with. Then it's frequently asked questions to overcome their objections, and then it's a testimonial compilation to prove that they deliver. So it's a combination of brand, it's a combination of assets, it's a combination of like a thoughtful delivery, right? You guys have 14 hubs across the world. So I want to know like how the entrepreneurs that you work with have an edge over everyone else just by working with you guys.
Because I mean, their good idea and good effort is, I can guarantee you, is not going to be wasted, and it's going to be amplified. Why? Because of the connections, because of the offices, because of this network. Just imagine, like, somebody's launching their business in one jurisdiction, right? And then because of our network and everything, it can be easily replicated and connected with different things. Again, it goes back to the idea as well, right? As I said before, that my day job is to make sure the idea is able to survive the next 5-10 years, is able to survive the next AI wave, the next economic downturn that the world is about to face or something. Then so that idea will be solid, right? So everybody wants to be a startup founder. I mean, it has become a fun thing, and then you will see so many on YouTube saying, "Oh, you know what? Quit your 9 to 5, be your own boss." It is more than that. And trust me, like, I mean, after you kind of like sit with me and go through our workshop and go through our whole shebang, you will think differently. You will know what it is, and trust me, like it does fill your cup, right? I mean, I'm part of so many different things, and I'm like willing to add more to my plate. That's because the impact is amazing, right?
Yeah.
You see something, you see a brand showing up somewhere, you see someone giving you this like really amazing feedback that that our effort let them expand, and then they hired a team, and then there's a whole ecosystem building because of something that we thought like many years ago that let's do this, and yes, we can do this, and yes, we will add this idea to it, and it became big. So the impact, is what drives us, right? And then I wish for everyone, every founder, every business owner, even like someone who's a serial entrepreneur, if they haven't had that feeling already, be an entrepreneur, create something, be out there, have that confidence to go and talk about, okay, when I do this, I create this. Yeah. And trust me, it's the best feeling in the world.
Yeah. So how they say, like, you could experience it yourself, or you could like leverage someone else's experience, right? So I feel like I leveraged Brandon Dawson's experience, just the level of impact that he had, like when I was working for him, and like the change that happens inside of businesses just by them being exposed to certain information that they just weren't aware of. It just takes one thing. It's like you read a book. You're not gonna get something from every single page, but that one page that you read could change your life.
That's true.
That one conversation that you have, that one class or seminar that you go to could just be exactly what you need to just focus back in, get back on track, and then take your business to the next level. So from your experience, you guys are an investment company. Do you guys also work with other investors?
Yes.
Okay,
yes,
cool.
We do.
So what would you say, like, the biggest thing that I know it's the drive, I know it's the commitment, but like on a deeper level, what do you feel like investors are really looking for in someone that just has an idea? Is it like, are they willing to pull their wallet out? Like, what are signs that these guys might just be worth
Yeah.
putting my money into?
I think we live in a very different world right now. I see a lot of people who, because before, let's just say Dubai or even Riyadh or even Las Vegas too, many years ago, people knew each other. So if someone important walks on this by, people are like, oh, so and so, he has this big house, in his company, 500 people work over there, 1,000 people work in his factory, right? But we are no longer in that time anymore, right? So now people are feeling that pain, because sometimes it happens to me as well. Like I'll go on LinkedIn and somebody's like, I can make your business 10x, blah, 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 shouting out stuff and everything and posting video after video.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, okay, you know what? I mean, I know more than you do.
Yeah.
I have done more than you have, but
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not out there, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah, yeah.
because I'm coming,
So
I mean,
that's why brand's so important
exactly,
too.
yes. And I'm also coming from a different era, different age kind of a thing, right? And and we are shifting, and someone who's new in the game, and they are kind of like grew up on that thing. So I feel like investors, a lot of times, they are also feeling that their investments are not creating that impact where people are like, oh, so and so is has this much percentage in that big business,
Yeah.
right? So think about that. Think
Yeah.
about not just that the revenue that okay, in your pitch deck, okay, I mean, the curve is going to this way and you will get this much money, which most of the time doesn't happen. But think about legacy investments. Think about that, how an investor will feel proud to talk about this particular investment of his in a group of other investors or other high net worth individuals. He'll be like, okay, you know what? I have invested in this. So then your brand becomes very important, because if your brand shows up on different reels, different ads, different platforms, different news, that, okay, what this brand has achieved so and so, then that investor sitting somewhere will be like, yeah, I have invested in that. They came to me when they were just starting out and I invested in them, right? So brands are so important.
Yeah.
And the brands play the long game.
Yeah.
Imagine that one day one investor is going to be proud of me, be proud of investing in me. Yeah. So how will I show it to him in the pitch deck? And how in my pitch, how will I talk about it? And am I the person who is going to be, that he's proud to, like, okay, no, hey, here's this young founder that I've met and I've invested in him because he's so smart and everything. So your personal brand, the way you carry yourself, the way you talk about your thing. And my partner Shafat says this all the time. Like, if you, let's just say you want to do something in the environment or in oil and gas or in some kind of like logistics business, right? And your idea may be good, but have the experience in that field, right? So if you come up to me and be like, okay, you know what, I have figured out the optimal way to fix logistics, we'll save 50% on fuel and time and blah, blah. But I'm like, okay, so have you worked in logistics? No. I mean, that's a no-brainer.
Yeah. You're guessing at that point.
You're guessing at that, exactly, right? So even if you're smart, I mean, there are tons of smart people in the world, and yes, some people have done that. We have heard stories that they had no clue about a certain field, but they just jumped in it and they figured out their problems. But still, even if you know that you're smart, you've already figured it out, still go work in that field.
Yeah.
And then also the fact that, what's the hurry? This is something I say to a lot of founders. Yes, you have a good idea or something, but what's your hurry to be 30 under 30, right? Yes, it's a title that they give you, but spend some time in learning, spend some time in self-education. Yes, energy is important, but sometimes you are just hasty. So to figure out where you can focus your energy. If you're at that stage, you can focus your energy on one thing. We want those people. We don't want the ones who are rushing from one thing to the other. And I mean, an investor will run away because they're like, okay, this guy tomorrow may even forget that I've invested in him.
Yeah. Do you know who Alex Hormozi is?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So he's out here in Vegas,
Yes.
but he talks about the journey of an entrepreneur, right? And the first phase is uninformed optimism, right? They're excited, they're running through walls, everything, like life couldn't be better, you know? It's a new shiny object. They get in there and then they start noticing that like it's going to take longer than they
Then
thought,
I
right?
thought,
They
yeah.
go into uninformed optimism. Uninformed
Pessimism.
informed pessimism, right? They start finding out that that it's going to be harder, that they're going to need more people, that that they're not going to get any sleep, that they're going to sacrifice time with their family. Then they have to make a decision. It's the valley of despair. Like, do you choose a new shiny object and go back to uninformed optimism, or do you continue the path, right? And you want people that continue the path, right?
Yeah.
Because then you enter informed optimism, which is like, all right, cool. You put your head down, you know what it's going to take, and you just get it done, and then you reach success, right?
Yeah.
But you never reach success unless you go through knowing that it's going to be a lot more work than you thought. So you guys describe brand beats as like quiet luxury, right? And I love that, by the way, right? So what does that mean, and how does it show up with the clients that you work with?
I think it's if you know, kind of a thing.
If you
But
know, you know.
if you know, you know. That's that kind of thing. But at the same time, right? It gives depth. You know, sometimes when we are taking a picture or making a video, we think of the angle and the depth. So it is that.
Yeah.
So depth. It's for instance, now you can go and create an image on AI, but you can tell. Right?
Yeah.
And then now you will see there's some prompts which are like a mile long, which are to tackle that problem. Okay,
Yeah.
use this angle, depth, this
Yeah.
and that, right? Why? Because we want to give that illusion that something is real.
Yeah.
So this quiet luxury or a website which has this experience is very smooth, and it gives the answers before you even think of the questions. That is quite luxury. And then maybe because I'm in this field for a long time, I can go and see that okay, somebody just picked a template and just changed some words here and there, and it's there, right?
Yeah.
And then it's that, or someone actually went through it. So sometimes when our designers and developers give us something, and we'll be like, and I'll make them, okay, no, scroll back up. Let's go back down again. Scroll back up, because every time I'm going back down on it, I'm in my head, I'm like, okay, now I'm this, now I'm that, right? I'm imagining a different persona. What if an older person is going through it? What if a younger person is going through it? The information has to be there, but at the same time, I don't want them to just know the pricing, right? Or I want them to experience what I can do for them first, right? A few years back, we worked with this. Actually, it came in a very funny eight slide PowerPoint, but this lady had this amazing idea of like making this hub for people in space tech, So and then it's completely all like literally rocket science for me. So we all went through our own journey of like learning more about it and discussions and everything, right? And the thing was, yes, at the end we created this one big website, and then we created like 8 sub businesses under that same business. Each one had its own identity. Okay, this is about connecting them. This is about their legals. This is about their strategy. This is about, them, the startup venture program kind of a thing within there. And it all stemmed from this 8 slides, right? So she was going around with those 8 slides trying to convince people, okay, come on board. Not just your money, but just come on board, invest with me. Let's make this group, and we can help this niche this way. But then when we worked with them, and we worked with her and created that thing, and now that website gave that feel. Oh wow, it is amazing. It's already a flourishing ecosystem, and everybody wanted to be a part of it. So that is the idea of this quiet luxury, that that it is more than just content design, and some flashiness in the website animations so that people can keep engaged. It's more than that. And funny thing is, a lot of times I know a lot of agencies still out there who are like, okay, now bring your content, right? Okay, or go to so and so content writer and they'll write your content. And I'm always get confused about that. I'm like, how does it work? How does design work without content and words work without design?
Yeah.
They don't. And then how can all that work without the founder, right?
Yeah.
The founder has to be in the middle of this. And because me and Shafat and some of other senior people in our company, we are ourselves entrepreneurs, right? We have built businesses, and then also we are investors. So we look at businesses from that angle as well, where we kind of quickly check if they, if they go through our checklist and they're investable. So when we are telling, okay, no, let's put this as a slogan. Okay, let's change the colors to this, because we know that how a product will sell, right? So it's a process, and also we make mistakes as well, and we keep on improving as well, right? Because the world is changing. Now, a lot of times I say this, right? Because for certain products, for instance, now, if you have a product which is under $50, you can go and do TikTok and really sell it blindly, right?
Yeah.
Because we have a generation right now who is comfortable with spending that money,
Yeah.
and they're very, very trigger happy, very emotional buyers, right? You can just tell them, oh my God, this really works, and they'll buy it.
Yeah.
I was just reading the statistics that those GLP like Ozempic patches that they came out. There's one ad on TikTok which did, I don't know, $100,000, over $100,000 in sales in one day through TikTok. And that ad is nothing. There's just like, you don't even see the face of the girl. She's just like putting the patch and just like something written on it. She's saying that, oh, this really works. The third day and I'm not hungry at all. And it's sold, right? Like no brand, like barely any kind of, effort spent on anything else, but this sells. But so there is a population right now who's willing to sell. But then we are not even in that game. We are in a much bigger game, As I said before, I'm not going to put and it's not even about somebody paying me to do their marketing and everything for them. So I'm like willing to, okay, you know what, let me make ads for you. No, it's me willing to invest my time, my energy, and my wisdom.
Yeah.
Which I mean, if I apply the same idea to 10 different startups, all of them are gonna eventually not gonna have sales, but now it's like a common idea anymore.
Yeah.
So coming up with unique ideas, so that requires extra effort and energy.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to do that for a business which is not even planning to survive.
Yeah.
They just want to quickly make money, and then if they vanish, they're fine with it, right? So as I said, we are not in that game, but I see that even
anything could work. In the car business, we used to say, I used to run the biggest car dealer, or the most famous dealership in the world, and we used to say that there's an ass for every seat, right? There's like you have this car, this car. Everyone has it, but quiet luxury, from what I'm hearing you say, is like the attention to detail, the level of care that you put into it. We here, like, we always talk about like giving a thoughtful delivery, right? Not just like you go on ChatGPT and you type something up, and everyone's like an expert at everything now that they have ChatGPT, but it's deeper because there's more details that need to go into it. There's extra questions that need to be answered, and you guys go in there, you guys button everything up, and then now you feel good about it. You feel good about delivering the information. It comes from a place of care, and then that care transfers over to the business owners that you guys are working with. And then that's how you guys create a culture of quiet luxury.
Quiet luxury.
I love it. Okay, so actually, I have two more questions for you, okay? So I want you to tell me, like, what the vision is. Like, what's the next few years look like in Brand Beats Global? Like, what are you guys hoping to accomplish? And then what's the legacy that you want to leave for the founders in the ecosystem?
Okay, so I think we kind of started with marketing, and then business strategy, of course, that came with it. And we kept on expanding, just trying to, out of our own frustrations, right? That, okay, you know what? Next thing was, okay, this business owners are coming in, they have no clue how to run a business or what a business is, and they're entrepreneurs. So let's fix that with education. Then from there on, we're like, they're creating products, but but they don't know who to sell it to, or they're just like wasting money on ads and everything. Okay, let's make our network stronger, grow our network, make more partners where we can help them. Okay, connect with this, connect with this. Because I don't want to create a product or help create a product and then it just dies somehow, right? So we kept on expanding that thing. And our next step is, because that's why we are in Bahrain right now, very, very strong, and I'm going there next week, is that now we are partnering with the government, with a whole, you can say it's a small country with a whole country, to really create that whole a place where everything happens, right? Because when it comes to startups, one of the biggest reasons for their failure is that in that race to find funding, they go through their own funds and then they die, right? So many good ideas die because they were not able to finance themselves through that initial stage of getting to an investor, right? Getting it. An investor is also right, because they're also like, okay, I'm going to invest in you when I see that, okay, you are about to get profitable, or about to get revenue or something, or your product is ready for the market. That product market fit is over there too. So with that partnership with the Bahrain government, what we are creating is something. Okay, founders, inviting them to come over there. We have chalked on everything where we can get them stipends where, okay, they're living and working on the idea and everything, and providing them with the teams to develop it quickly happens. So because the whole idea is to get that product out in the market as soon as possible, right? And take away from the founder all the other stresses they have, which hinder.
Yeah.
Right? One is that they can't build a team. The other one is that they are having issues with paying for their rent and and getting to so and so place or something, right? So their personal expenses, I would say, because of course they have to live and eat and everything as well. So, and then again, are the investors ready to look at that? Because so many founders waste months and months going from one event to the other event to pitch their startup or meet investors and everything, and that requires so much money and time. So we're kind of like putting everything in one geographical location, at the same time putting everything that where the next step is ready when this step is done, so that they don't waste time. So this is our vision right now, to create this whole. We are almost there, because we have the partnerships ready, and there are a lot of private investors who are already like, okay, with you guys on board, because they know that once we vet those startups to join our venture park, they are good. That the founder is right, the idea is workable, and from there on, the investors are like, okay, we are just gonna sit here and wait on the other end, so that when they go through all that and develop their product, we are willing to invest, right?
Yeah.
So it creates this whole very almost like a factory kind of thing. Okay, you tuck, go through the
check marks,
you
right?
go through that thing, and then you're out there in the market, right? And then the idea behind us, and where we apply our wisdom, now we apply it with each startup separately, but this way we are creating this whole big thing, and where we can do big, huge events to launch the products, to launch them out there, and get them connected with the right people kind of right away. So the vision is this. The vision is then, rather than putting our efforts on individual startups, we're putting them together with the help of a lot of support from the government, from other investors, from our and kind of like amplifying all the effort with a lot of tech, skill teams that they can quickly hire, and we can assign to different projects. So that is the vision for that. And in terms of just if I just look at Brandby Global as an agency, what the future holds, I'm also like, in a way, even though I'm providing a service, but I also am more like a legacy investor. I want to invest my services, my effort, my brains
Your
into
heart,
products.
and I see that.
Exactly, in the heart, definitely, into products and into businesses, into founders and business owners who understand the game and are willing to be okay. They see themselves in that business, in that thing, a few years from now, and they're willing to take the right path, not the shortcut.
Yeah.
So yes, so willing to. So my vision is that I'm surrounded by friends I mean, I can't, because I mean, none of my clients are clients anymore. They are just friends, and they just message me all the time, and we discuss different things, and we're discussing new ventures, you know. And even when we have some startups going on, we ask them, okay, you know, do you want to partner with them? Do you want to invest in them? And you know, so we never let them go, kind of a thing.
Yeah.
So I'm saying, so to increase my client, friends, family circle, and
Yeah.
also all amazing people over there.
Well, I
So-
hope this podcast does it. And I know that you come from a place of passion and experience and love, right? What advice would you give? Like, you started in business over 20 years ago,
Yeah.
right? 20 years ago, what do you wish you would have known? Like, what knowledge can you share with the audience that could just help them avoid some headache and just keep them focused and on the right path?
I would say it. I think I did that because maybe my mom had taught me that way. That if when you get a good advice or get a good task, just don't think, okay, if I do this, then will it work? Will it not work? Put your effort in it. Put your back into it. Like just do it, and then see the result. I see a lot of the problem with young founders these days is that you will tell them, okay, you know what, you have to do this, and before even doing this, they'll be like overthinking. They'll be like, no, I don't think it's gonna work.
They talk
I know.
themselves out of
Yeah,
it.
exactly. Even when we kind of talk them back into it, they are not. Their whole energy is not there, because they are already doubting in their mind. Okay, no, I don't think Amna is right. You know, I mean, Amna is trying to do the old school way. She's just making me do a lot more extra work than needs to be done, kind of a thing. You know, I mean, when I partnered with Shafat, you know, because he had done this whole investments and agency thing, and as I said, he was in Dubai when it was just starting, so I think he had seen a lot of ups and downs and everything, right? And I think this is one thing I did right, because I was coming from this like a U.S. Boutique agency kind of background, and he was playing the global game, and it was that where I was like, okay, you know what, he knows more than me, and he is giving me advice, and he is telling me to do it this way, and I'll do it this way, and voila, you know, it worked, right? So having that faith, you know, in that, be like, okay, you know what, no, I mean, and the faith comes after a lot of practice, right? So I don't blame people who sometimes doubt this advice and that advice. It is a human brain thing,
Yeah.
right? We will always question, but the thing is, it's a habit you have to develop. It's a
Yeah.
habit you have to develop, that I have decided this thing and I will do this.
Yeah.
I have teenage daughters, and I tell them the same thing. You know what? That the promise you make to yourself, be very careful about it. Do not break it.
Yeah.
Because once you will, okay, you know what, I'll wake up tomorrow at 6 a.m. and you don't wake up at 6 a.m. You're like, who knows? I mean, I only said it to myself and I didn't do it. But no, you broke a promise to yourself.
Yeah.
So you yourself know that now it's okay to break a promise with me. There's no
Yeah.
consequences. And that's the worst thing
Yeah.
ever.
Ed Milet says that your confidence is the promises that you keep to yourself. You know, so every time that you break one, you're just a little less confident.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
so it's important to just, you know, keep your chin up. And
Exactly.
you keep your chin up by keeping those promises.
Yeah.
And then I think, like, if you're going to open your mouth about anything or your thoughts to anything, you should follow through with any commitment that not only you make to yourself, but to other people too. That's how you build the relationships. That's why you have such a great network, because you took that philosophy and then now you expanded it to the people that you're working with also.
Yeah.
So Amna, you're amazing. It's been
Thank
such a
you.
good conversation. You're so
It was
knowledgeable. How could people out there like reach you? Do you guys have your
Yes,
socials?
I have a website. I live on LinkedIn, so you know, so I'm there all the time. But yes, you know, I mean, you can go to brambygglobal.com. That's our company website. I have a personal website too, amnarazzaq.com. And then of course LinkedIn, the best thing. Just Google
Awesome.
us.